Okay, putting together a setup video here for the freestanding TV monitor kiosk. And this is how it comes, cardboard box. However, inside the cardboard box, there is the travel case right here. And as it comes with inside the cardboard box, it has the handle on here. So you don't actually have to take it out of the cardboard box in order to transport it. And it also has wheels right here. So all you have to do as it comes and as it's delivered is just grab it like this and you can kind of move it around. So now that we have the hard case for the freestanding kiosk out of the cardboard box, just a couple things in order to open it. Expandable case here. There's a lock right here. And there's also additional holes down below. So this hard case actually slides up and down depending on the contents that are inside of it. It will make it longer for longer materials that it's packed in, or a little bit shorter if you have other items that are shorter inside of the case. There are two of them total, and they are on both sides of the hard case. And the way that it works is that you have these little tabs right here, and you just pull them back. So just kind of pull it backwards like this, and then grab this and pull it out. So with one hand, go like this, and with the other hand, you can see these pop out like that. On the other side, it's the exact same thing. Pull these little tabs directly out, getting the handle on it, pull it out like that. So here we have everything all out of the package. You can see all the contents came in the large cardboard box that was inside of the hard case. And so we have all the contents out of that box and down here now. I always recommend just laying everything out. So each of the individual items packaged here, just go ahead and lay it out. And here are the instructions right here. There are several components. When you take a look at everything that we have laid out though, you may not have everything with your order. Because the reason is we have some extra components, like here's a shelf, and not all the orders will have a shelf unless it's specifically requested. So aside from the shelf though, everything else is pretty much comes standard with the freestanding TV monitor kiosk. And then in this box right here is everything that you'll need for the TV monitor mount. So there's all the components in here, the bolt set and the VESA mount. So everything you'll need to actually mount the TV to the hardware. We're ready to put the feet on. First thing you're gonna do is grab the long SEG extrusion and one of the feet. What you're gonna do is this attaches onto the frame using these two little pieces. These are called the LN100s. And what you do is they actually slide right in. They've got a little groove right here. So this part, this high end, is face up. So not like that, but like this. And then slide it right into the groove. And for each foot, it takes two. So we put two in like this. Okay, and then we kind of look at where the holes are on the feet. And then we just put it over the top. These can slide so that the thumb screws here, which can just be threaded with your fingers until you get to where it has to be tightened. Start with the side lowest here because this foot has to be flush with the end of the frame piece. And so find one that's kind of all the way to the end there. Line up the hole. So that goes into the LN100 like that. And then for this next one, if the hole's not lined up, you kind of have to let it slide down like that. And then the holes will line up in there. And for each one, you can put 4 per foot. One kind of in the top here and the top here, so they're kind of evenly. You'll do the same thing on the other side. And then you will use this tool to tighten. It's nice and snug for each one. Okay, and then just repeat steps on that other. So now that both feet are on, we're ready to add the supports to start connecting these two sides together. You're gonna take this piece here with cam locks that are on the side and your red tool, and this goes in the middle here, in between these. It does not go on the edge there. This is an extrusion that's used for other types of displays where it's SEG and the graphic will go in there with a silicone strip. That is not what this is for though. This particular extrusion piece must go in the center here, not like that. So that's number one. Number two is you're gonna start with this piece. You're gonna wanna situate it closer to the bottom on the first one because we've got several here. So once it's in, these are cam locks. So it only goes about half a turn or so. Commonly asked question is that sometimes it doesn't seem like it locks in tight. It should do, I think it's like a full half turn. So if you have the pair of pliers or channel locks, I like to use these to get a little extra leverage on it. And I put it on just like this. And once you're on here, you can see I hand tightened it, but with this tool, you're really able to torque it all the way. Same with the bottom one. So that last little bit there is important because that's gonna be the one that makes it nice and strong at the end there. I always recommend having an extra pair of pliers. Okay, another simple step. We're ready to add the tops on. So just take the shorter of the frame pieces, and it's just gonna fit exactly the same way over this section right here. And again, it just rests on there. There's nothing for it to screw into. It just rests right on top like that. Same thing on the other side. Okay, so now we're ready for the top part, and where the TV mount actually attaches onto the rest of the hardware. You can see I went ahead and I added the very last top piece support. I did it the exact same way as I did the bottom and the middle one. So go ahead and add this top support here. And the next step is adding these on. You can see there's one already attached here. And you can go ahead and just use the same tool with the cam locks and do it the exact same way. Hand tighten it and use your pliers to do that last quarter turn to get it nice and snug. For the second one here, you just kind of want to eye it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it can just be tightened. It doesn't matter if it goes inside like this or if you have it outside on the other way. You just want to get it nice and snug on there. And I'm just going to use my pliers to finish it. A quarter turn, and I know it's locked in place there. So another commonly asked question is, how do you know where to position it, the height of it? These are adjustable, so you can slide these up and down wherever you want, all the way to the top here. Then what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna want to position it so that it is the right height on your back wall. What I recommend is go ahead and set up that back wall, whether it's the Formulate Master back wall or a Wavelight back wall. These work with several different types of frame systems. But whatever it is, go ahead and set up that back wall. And then what I do is I take the back wall, in this case we have a 8-foot Wavelight, and I slide it so that it goes right up to the freestanding hardware right here. And then what that allows me to do is it kind of pushes it in a little bit, and then I can tell from the front approximately where that's positioned. And then I know, okay, well then the TV monitor is going to be, the mount anyways is going to be right about here. And then I factor in the size of the TV. Okay, well, if I have a 50-inch TV, I can find what the width and the height of that TV is. And then I know approximately what the width and the height is. And I determine, okay, am I happy with that, or do I want it a little bit higher? If I want a little bit higher, then what I can do is just loosen these up, position these up a few more inches, tighten them again, put it back. And then once you're happy with the position, then you could just make a cut with either a knife or scissors, or a good way of doing it as well is with a soldering iron. So it can just melt right through it. These are synthetic fiber graphics, and so they will melt, and that way it will keep it nice and in position, won't tear or anything. It shouldn't tear anyways. I mean, the graphics are pretty bulletproof on these. You can use X-Acto knives, you can use scissors. Really don't have any problems with the streaking because it is synthetic fiber. So go ahead and feel comfortable doing that with scissors, but you just want to make a slit. That's it, just a vertical little slit. If you need to, you could make a little capital I on the top and on the bottom to give it a little bit more of a flap. But that's it, just enough room so that this area right here can poke through it. That's pretty much all you're looking to do. So now that you've made your marks and everything on the fabric back wall, where you want to position it, this part you usually do after this part has been put through the fabric back wall. So now we're looking at it from as if we were on the other side of the back wall and working on the front of it now. Because just these stick through. You don't have to make a big enough opening for this to fit through. This is going to be for the mount. So let's just pretend for a second we have the back wall and it's slid on here and it's positioned right about here. You want somebody to hold this on the front, and then usually the other person is on the back side, and you just screw it in with these same cam locks. You can see I have one position on here already. And for this one, we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna use our tool. Get it about the same height as the other side. Hand tighten it. I'm gonna go back to our pliers here and we'll just finish tightening just that quarter. So now we're getting to the TV mount part of it. We're almost done here. In the instructions, if you look at it, depending on what version you have, if you have the old version, it has since been changed. Before it was calling for one of those same LN100s that you would use for the foot, but we aren't using these anymore. Instead, what it is it's a bolt that has a square head to it that slides down into the groove. I'll show you that here in just a second, but if you have these old instructions, this part isn't being used anymore. And this is the little square piece that we're gonna be talking about right here. So let me show you how to do this. You should have a little packet that has these little square bolts right here and a washer and a wing nut. And what I do is you position them, if this is kind of the position of the TV mount, with this little tab facing forward to the front. This is what the arms are gonna hang on. So this is how you wanna position it. Not like this, but like this. And then you wanna locate the top section here and just go one over on each side. So it's the second over from the right and the second over from the left. So actually put this wing nut bolt inside like this with the square head on the back. And then what we do is we just put it right up to those pieces, and we want to go into the center, not the left, not the right. It's not going to work in those. It has to be in the center. So go ahead and put it up, and I've given it enough slack here to where hopefully it's just going to drop down inside. We'll do it on each side, and you can kind of leave it towards the top. That gives the bottom something to rest on. It's got a little backer right here, but I'm happy with that location right there. I'm gonna go ahead and start to tighten it. As I tighten it, it's not gonna turn on me on the other side because it's got that square head. So the little extrusion piece is gonna stop it. So I'm just going to do it hand tight for now. And then what I will do is I'll just finish up tightening it with my pliers here and get it nice and snug. But it should look like this. Okay, so coming up on the last steps here, we're ready to bolt the arms onto the back of your TV. So make sure to get a TV that's a 200 by 200 standard VESA mount. That's 200 millimeters by 200 millimeters. And if so, these will work just fine. So you can just locate any of these holes here and then bolt them onto the TV. Important though, make sure that these little hooks are facing up. So this is kind of the top, and the one with the screw down here on the bottom should be facing down. You don't want to put these on the upside down on your TV because then you're gonna have to unbolt them and put them back on again. So this is the top, this is the bottom, bolted onto the back of your TV using the bolt kit. You won't be using all the hardware, just find the screws that are the right fit for your particular TV. They're all standard sizes, so it should work. And just screw these onto the back of the TV, because once you have that, then you will lift the TV up with these arms on it. And then the final step is just putting it onto the mount just like this. So these little hooks go onto this top right here, and it hangs down just like this. And you can see right here, if you screw in this bottom screw, it will prevent it from coming off. So this is just kind of a little set screw on the bottom here. So one additional thing here, it depends on the size of your TV, it depends on the weight and everything. This stand really holds quite a bit of weight depending on the TV that you're putting on here. But if you do feel like you need a little extra weight, there is this piece that it comes with along with these little screws. And what this does is this just goes right underneath the SEG extrusion right here, and you just put it right up to it, and then you can just use your spool and it spreads it. So it gives it a little extra support underneath. It's always a good idea just to make sure that it's playing strong. So this one's just kind of a bonus. Not everybody orders one with a shelf, but if your order does come with an extra shelf, it will have these hardware pieces. So these two extra arms here, and these will just go right into the upright frame using those same cam locks. You'll just want to have these cam locks that are facing up be more towards the front because you need this back space here. This is the area where it's going to stick through your back wall. So again, position this where you want. You can use the same method where you can use these arms, put it up against the back wall so you can make your marks to be able to do the cut so that these arms stick all the way through. But once you've done that, you're ready to go back to the front of the back wall with these arms sticking through, and you have your countertop here, and it's got the little channels underneath it, just like this, and pretty straightforward, but it just sits right on top, and you can kind of position it how you want, but kind of flush with the front here. Try to get it as level as possible, and then use your same tool, and then go ahead and lock it in place. Get it started, and then of course use your pliers to finish the job and get it nice and snug on there. So now you have your countertop, you got your TV, and this is the full setup.